guys, welcome to day 2 of the Quantum Christmas Extravaganza, where we literally just chill together and talk about closing off this decade and making sure that the next year and decade is like the most epic of our entire lives. All right, and so yesterday was day 1. We talked about like who you are, not just at a soul level, but also as a 3D human being in terms of how you express and how you present into the world, and you were able to like look back, reflect on what were your secret hidden talents and gifts and ways of being as a child before you were corrupted by the minds of society and your parents, and so today's day 2 and I'm excited because today is about putting you first. So the reason that this comes next is because in order for you to actually create what it is that you want for you, you have to actually acknowledge you. We're taught, especially as women, to like put everybody else first and to be gentle and nice and like, oh my God, you should, it's polite to like let everybody else go in front of you, right? But this is where you get to actually be selfish, because when you're allowing yourself to put yourself first, you are saying no to your no's and you're saying yes to your yeses. Because when you say no to your no's and yes to the things that are yes for you, you are in integrity. You're in integrity with what you want. You're in integrity with who you are. And so you pull into you more things of integrity, which include your goals and your dreams and your visions, right? So what I want you to do for today's activities, I want you to list the areas where you're saying yes to yourself, where you want to say no. Maybe you've been invited to go to this party and you don't want to go. Or maybe, you're in certain friendship groups or situations and you're not being respected. And maybe it is you're staying in those situations and you don't want to be in those situations. And this is where you get to say no. No, 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 no. Maybe this is like a detox, really. This is really like a detox. Maybe it is in your business, you're selling things, talking about topics, running it in a certain way, whether it's like strategies that you're using or things that you believe you need to use, whatever, and you don't want to do them. Or maybe it is that you have clients that you're working with that you don't want to be working with these people. Or what other things do we do to like sacrifice ourselves? I remember when I didn't have any boundaries. This was like 2017 was like the highest part of this. I would wake up in the morning at 3 a.m. to go pee, and because I'm in Europe, so my time zone is like I'm 6 hours ahead of people in the US, and I had clients from the US, and I would have people message me at 3 a.m. in the morning, which is like 8 p.m. their time, 9 p.m., whatever time. Even if they're in California, I think it would be like 6 p.m. And I remember I would wake up in the morning, 3 a.m. to go to pee, and I would glance over at my phone, and then I would see messages from my clients and I would feel compelled to answer, and I couldn't sleep until I answered. And because I didn't want them to hate me or bash me or like, not love me. So I was like, oh my God, people pleaser, I gotta please people, so I would respond to the messages. So for me, when I was putting myself first, it was setting boundaries and saying to my clients, like, listen, hey, like, if you message me at a certain time, I will respond within 12 hours, and I will respond on this day to this day from this time to this time, and just setting that boundary in place instead of like, oh my God, but if, like, no. And I just had to put myself first. Another way sometimes we don't put ourselves first is that sometimes we may actually like wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is you look on your phone. Like, that's not you putting yourself first. That's you putting Facebook's marketing, revenue, sales ahead of you, because when you take up your phone and you look at Facebook or Instagram, like you're putting them first. When you take up your email first, you're putting Google first, okay? You're not putting yourself first. So for me, I literally spend 1 hour in the morning with my eyes still closed, with myself, with my thoughts, with my body. And I do feel tempted so many times to pull out my phone, and I will occasionally take it up and then I'm like, no, put it back. So put yourself first, and maybe you can put the phone in a different room. That's probably something I'm going to try to do. But like, put yourself first. Also, putting yourself first means giving yourself alone time. Now, we are the sum of the 5 people we spend time with the most, and we absorb people's energy. We absorb so much from others, their thoughts, their frequency, their energy, and sometimes it's just icky. And it's not that you don't love these people or they're not nice human beings, but sometimes their frequency, their thoughts, their vibe is not in alignment or doesn't resonate with what you are trying to achieve. So you have to put time in every single day, at least 20 to 30 minutes, to get away from everybody. Like, even if it means you need to go in the bathroom and close yourself in the bathroom, or you need to go for a walk in nature. I love going for walks in nature. But you need to create space, because you're always absorbing. You're not trying to. It's just that we live in an energetic universe, and everything is frequency. So you're walking around, you're in a certain wave, and if somebody comes and their wavelength is not in alignment with yours, it'll either pull you up or pull you down, right? So you have to surround yourself with the right people. And that's a part of putting yourself first. A part of putting yourself first is also about forgiveness. We are closing off a decade. We are closing off a chapter. Maybe you're not watching this at the end of a decade. Maybe you're watching this at the end of a year or the end of a chapter of your life. But as you're moving out of a chapter, it's very important that you will look back at the judgments you made on yourself and forgive those. I remember when I just became an entrepreneur, I literally borrowed, I think I had like couple tens of thousands of dollars in debt to start my business, because I was still a student in school. So I didn't have like money to, start the business. And it took me within 1 year, I only made like $1,000. So I had a lot of guilt and shame around that. This was 2014, but I had a lot of guilt and shame around it, because I was like, oh my God, how did I get myself into this hole? I had a lot of judgment around it and guilt around it, because I was like judging myself. And it wasn't until later on, recently even, when I was looking back at that and really hand on my heart and just forgiving myself for judging myself. And then also realizing, and I think, because we have here, I live in Italy, between Italy and the UK, but mainly in Italy, and we have some suites that we're building and renovating and stuff for tourism, right? So like a little boutique hotel that we're building. And as we're building it, we're spending like tens and tens and tens of thousands to build this suite. And it's not done yet, and we haven't made any money yet because it's not done yet. And I thought about it, and I'm like, wow, I was so hard on myself over that amount when I was in my early 20s. I was 23, and I was like hard on myself because I didn't make the money back in time and blah, blah, blah. And I just had to just let that go and just forgive myself and realize that it's a business. Like if you were starting a restaurant, you would have to put money in to build the restaurant, put the structures in place, do the promotions, marketing, get the team, get the fridge, get the stove, like get the permits. There's so much that goes into creating a business. And because I was starting an online business, and there's always this thing where people make it seem like online businesses don't have an expense. Not true. It just literally freaked me out. And so I had to forgive myself for that. And that was one of the ways I was putting myself first, by forgiving myself. And then another thing about judgment and guilt is really that we have judgment and guilt every single day. Maybe you didn't give somebody the money they asked you for. Maybe you didn't do something that someone expected you to do, and then you beat yourself up, and then you have resentment. Listen, this is the time to forgive people. I was having a shower. This is like the most random thing ever. And a friend of mine said something to me years ago, like one line. And I don't know, it popped into my head, and I'm like, wow, where did that come from? And I had to just like let it go and like forgive the statement, forgive myself for dwelling on the statement and like thinking about it. So sometimes there are things that come up in your life and you just have to let it go. That is how you put yourself first. So put yourself first with boundaries. Put yourself first by saying no when you mean no. Put yourself first by saying yes when you mean yes. And put yourself first, in terms of forgiveness, forgiving yourself, protecting your energy, taking time alone, putting yourself first in the morning when you wake up, that kind of thing. So anyway, guys, this is day 2 of the Quantum Christmas Extravaganza, where we close off this decade, we close off this chapter, and we move into this new chapter, creating what it is we want, but actually folding time to get it. And I'm so excited about the next couple of days, because we're going to be talking about how to actually then manifest what you want. And this goes far beyond just the law of attraction or whatever. It's like, it really goes into like the science behind manifesting, so you understand how it's working. I'm so excited. And like I said, this is going to be 12 days. So day 1 to 9, we're giving you the content, the tea, giving you these activities to do and examples and things. And then day 10, 11, and 12, we're gonna just chill, drink some eggnog or some mulled wine and some, you know, Christmas juice or tea or whatever, hot chocolate, I don't know. We'll figure it out, honey. Some Prosecco, we'll figure it out. Soup, I don't know. And then I'll be answering your questions. So comment below and tell me where in your life you've been saying yes, where you wanted to say no, or where you've been saying no that you want to say yes, or a boundary that you're going to put in. Just comment and let me know what's one of the things you're going to implement that will put you first, my darling. And then I will see you tomorrow for day 3 of the extravaganza. And what else I gotta say? Oh yeah, and make sure to comment with your questions as well, so that on day 10, 11, and 12, I can answer those for you. All right, darling, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in day 3 of the Quantum Christmas extravaganza.